My wife told me to sleep on the couch. I smiled and said, okay. That was 3 weeks ago, and Julia still doesn't understand why I'm grinning every morning. She thinks she won. She thinks banishing me from our bedroom was some power move that would make me beg for forgiveness. For what? I still don't know. Something about not listening, about being boring, about not appreciating her enough. Before we dive deeper into this story, I have one small request. Please subscribe, drop a like, comment, and hit that hype button to boost this channel so more people can discover these incredible Reddit stories. Luke, did you hear what I said? Julia stands in the doorway of what used to be our guest room, her perfectly manicured hands on her hips. Her blonde highlights catch the afternoon light streaming through the window. She's wearing her real estate power suit, the navy one that costs more than my monthly car payment. I heard you, I say, leaning back in my new gaming chair. The leather creaks satisfyingly. You said you're showing a property tonight. Again. It's called having a career. Her voice has that edge, the one that used to make me apologize reflexively. At 9 p.m. on a Friday? Luke, we've been over this. The client works late. Some of us have to be flexible. She glances around the room, and I watch her face change. Really change. The big screen TV mounted on the wall, the mini fridge humming in the corner, stocked with craft beer Pete helped me pick out, the gaming console, the sound system, the actual artwork I chose myself, not the bland beige nonsense she insisted on for the rest of the house. What is all this? Her voice climbs an octave. My room. You told me to sleep somewhere else, so I made it comfortable. Why would I want to leave? I take a sip of my beer, watching her process this. Honestly, Julia, I haven't slept this well in years. Her mouth opens and closes. She's searching for words, for some way to turn this back on me, to make me the villain. But I can see the gears grinding. If she demands I come back to the bedroom, she loses face. If she accepts this, she loses control. This is ridiculous, she finally says, but it's weak. She turns on her designer heels and leaves. I hear her on the phone minutes later, voice low and urgent. I catch fragments. Oh, completely redecorated, acting like he doesn't even care. No, I don't know what to do. She's talking to Marcy, her best friend and primary enabler. They've been thick as thieves since Julia joined that real estate agency 2 years ago. Marcy's the one who convinced Julia she deserved better, who organized all those girls' nights out that stretched past midnight. I turn up the volume on my game and smile. The thing about being an IT project manager is that people forget you're good with technology. They see the boring guy in khakis who fixes the printer, not someone who understands networks, security systems, and digital footprints. Julia's been sloppy. It started small. The phone tilted away when texts came in, the sudden need for privacy in a house we've shared for 8 years. Then came the late nights, the weekend open houses that somehow never resulted in listings on her company website. The new lingerie I found in the laundry, tags still on, that never made an appearance in our bedroom. Not that we'd been using that bedroom for anything interesting lately. He's just so boring, Julia's voice carries from the kitchen where she's having coffee with Marcy and Elaine. They think I'm absorbed in my laptop at the dining room table, and I am, just not in spreadsheets. Honestly, I could be folding laundry, and it would be more exciting. Marcy's laugh is sharp, cruel. Girl, you deserve someone who makes you feel alive. Trent makes me feel alive. Julia's voice drops, but not enough. Last weekend at that hotel in Cambridge, I've never felt like that. He's just so confident, powerful, everything Luke isn't. Trent Mallory, local house flipper, drives a vintage Mustang he treats like a child, has a smile full of veneers and a handshake that lasts too long. I've met him twice at Julia's company events. He spent both conversations talking about his projects and checking his reflection in wine glasses. I keep typing, face neutral, while my wife describes her affair in my own kitchen. That night, I follow her. She says she's meeting a client in Newton. Her car heads to the Marriott downtown instead. I park 3 rows back and watch her walk in, watch Trent arrive 10 minutes later in that ridiculous Mustang, watch them meet in the lobby with a kiss that makes my stomach turn. I don't go in. I don't make a scene. I take photos with my phone, just enough to document the timeline. Then I drive to Pete's Hardware. You look like hell, Pete says, closing up the register. The store's empty, just us and the smell of sawdust and paint. Julia's cheating on me. Pete stops counting bills. You sure? Completely. What are you going to do? I think about Julia's laugh in the kitchen, about Marcy's encouragement, about Trent's smug face. I'm going to make sure everyone knows exactly who they are. Luke, man, be careful. Don't do anything stupid. Pete, I'm an IT guy. Stupid isn't in my skill set. Thorough? That's what I do. Over the next week, I collect everything. Not through illegal spyware or hacking. I'm not stupid, just through observation. Julia's laptop password is our wedding date, something she never changed. Her email is logged in on the home computer, her text back up to the cloud account we share. I don't need to hack anything. She handed me everything. The affair has been going on for 4 months. Trent's married too, something Julia seems to find thrilling rather than concerning. Their messages are explicit, detailed, and incredibly stupid. They talk about their spouses like we're obstacles, inconveniences to be managed until they can make things official. Julia's big open house is Saturday. She's been planning it for weeks, a historic Victorian in Brookline, her biggest listing yet. She's invited everyone, clients, colleagues, neighbors, even the Blakes from next door who live for drama. I spend Friday night in my bachelor cave working on my laptop. Pete brings over pizza and beer. "You're really doing this?" he asks. She humiliated me in my own kitchen. She's been lying for months. "Yeah, I'm really doing this." "What do you need?" "Your Bluetooth speaker. The good one." Saturday afternoon, I arrive at the open house early. Julia's surprised to see me, but she can't make a scene in front of potential buyers. "Luke, what are you doing here?" "Supporting my wife's career," I say cheerfully. "Isn't that what good husbands do?" Her smile is plastic. How thoughtful. The house fills up. Julia works the crowd, all charm and professional competence. Trent shows up, playing the role of interested buyer. They're careful not to interact too much, but I see the glances, the small smile Julia gives him. I wait until the crowd is thickest, everyone gathered in the main living room while Julia describes the original crown molding. Then I pull out my phone and connect to Pete's speaker, which I'd hidden behind a display of flowers that morning during setup. Julia's voice fills the room. "He's just so boring. Honestly, I could be folding laundry and it would be more exciting." The crowd goes silent. Julia's face drains of color. Trent's voice, recorded from their hotel argument last night when I'd parked near the open window. "You need to be patient, Jules. I can't just leave my wife right now. The business..." Julia's recorded response. "I'm tired of being patient. I'm tired of sneaking around. You said you loved me." I disconnect and pocket my phone. The room erupts in whispers. Julia's staring at me, and for the first time in months, I see real fear in her eyes. "Sorry, honey," I say loud enough for everyone to hear. "I think your speaker's malfunctioning. Technical difficulties. You know how it is." I walk out, leaving her standing there with her mouth open and her career in ruins. The neighborhood Facebook group explodes by Sunday morning. The Blakes, bless their drama-loving hearts, had recorded the whole thing and shared it with their close friends, which is everyone within a 3-mile radius. Julia doesn't come home Saturday night. I spend the evening in my room, drinking beer and watching movies, feeling nothing but a strange, calm satisfaction. She shows up Sunday afternoon, red-eyed and furious. "You destroyed me." "I played a recording. You destroyed yourself." "Everyone knows. My boss called. The listing fell through. Marcy won't return my calls. How could you?" I stand up from my chair, and she actually takes a step back. "How could I? Julia, you spent months sleeping with another man. You mocked me in our kitchen. You planned a whole future without me, and you're asking how I could embarrass you. It was private." Nothing's private when you're stupid enough to discuss it in public places. Nothing's private when you use our shared cloud account for your sexts. Nothing's private when you forget that the boring IT guy you married actually understands technology. "I want a divorce." "Great, I've already contacted a lawyer. You'll be hearing from him tomorrow." She stares at me like I'm a stranger. "What happened to you?" "You wanted excitement, Julia. You wanted someone who wasn't boring. Congratulations. You got what you wanted. Just not the way you expected." She leaves, slamming the door hard enough to rattle the windows. Monday, I make a delivery. Trent's wife, Karen, works at a dental office in Newton. I arrive with a package. A small box containing a set of Julia's lingerie, still with the tags, and printed copies of some of the tamer texts between her husband and my wife. The receptionist calls her out. "Mrs. Mallory, delivery for you." Karen opens it at the desk. I watch her face change from confusion to understanding to rage in about 10 seconds. "Where did you get this?" she asks me. "I'm Luke Drummond, Julia's husband. I thought you should know what your husband's been doing with my wife." The receptionist is trying not to stare. Karen's hands are shaking. "The Marriott downtown. Every Friday for the past 4 months. I have dates if you want them." Karen's not crying. She's past crying. She's at that cold, clear place where decisions get made. "Thank you," she says quietly. I nod and leave. By Tuesday, Trent's Mustang is parked outside Julia's apartment. She's staying with Elaine now. Pete and I wait until 2 a.m. wearing gloves and hoodies. "This is insane," Pete whispers. "This is justice," I correct him. We fill the car's interior with shrimp shells from the seafood market, mixed with milk we let sit in the sun all day. We wire the horn to trigger whenever the door opens, programmed to blare "cheater, cheater" in a loop. It's not permanent, just a simple circuit Pete helped me design, easily removable, but it'll work long enough. Wednesday morning, I'm eating breakfast when my phone lights up with videos. Trent discovering his car. Trent trying to drive it. Trent stuck at a red light while the horn blares and everyone films him. The smell, according to the comments, is unholy. Julia calls me, screaming. "You did this!" "Did what?" "I've been home all night. Ask anyone." "You're destroying our lives." "Our lives?" "Julia, there is no hour anymore. There's you and your choices. There's Trent and his consequences. And there's me, finally sleeping well at night." Thursday, Julia's boss calls her in. Someone, not me, I'm very careful, sent an anonymous tip about some of her more creative accounting on commission splits. Nothing criminal, just unethical enough to warrant an audit. Friday, the neighborhood BBQ happens. The Blakes host it every month, and everyone goes because their backyard is massive and they have a pool. Julia shows up, trying to salvage her reputation. Marcy and Elaine flank her like bodyguards. I arrive with Pete carrying beer and acting like nothing's wrong. Julia sees me and marches over. "You need to leave." "It's a neighborhood event, Julia. I live here. You're the one staying at Elaine's." "You humiliated me. You ruined everything." The conversations around us stop. Everyone's watching now. "I humiliated you?" "Julia, I played a recording of your own words. I didn't make you cheat. I didn't make you mock your husband. I didn't make you plan a future with a married man. You did all that yourself." "You had no right." "I had every right. You're my wife. You took vows. You broke them. And now you're mad that people know who you really are?" Mrs. Blake has her phone out, streaming to the neighborhood group. Julia sees it and lunges for the phone. Mr. Blake steps between them. "Julia, maybe you should go," he says quietly. "Are you serious? He's the one who—" "We all saw the messages," Mrs. Blake interrupts. "We all heard what you said about him. Honey, you need to take some responsibility." Julia looks around at the crowd. No one's on her side. Even Marcy and Elaine look uncomfortable. She leaves, and the party continues like she was never there. Trent shows up at my house 2 weeks later. Julia's served me divorce papers, and apparently things aren't going well for the happy couple. Karen took him for everything in their divorce. His house-flipping business is tanking because no one wants to work with a known cheater, and Julia's lost her job. He bangs on my door at 10 p.m. I open it with my phone already recording. "You destroyed my life." He's drunk, swaying on my porch. "You destroyed your own life, Trent. You made choices. Actions have consequences. You think you're so smart. You think you won." "I don't think I won anything. My marriage is over. But at least everyone knows the truth now." He takes a swing at me. I step back, and he stumbles forward. Pete, who's been waiting in the living room, steps out. "Trent, you should go," Pete says calmly. "This isn't over." "Yeah, it is. You can leave on your own, or we can call the cops for trespassing and assault. Your choice." Trent leaves, but I know it's not done. Julia and Trent are desperate now, backed into corners. Desperate people do stupid things. I spend the next week upgrading my home security, cameras at every entrance, motion sensors, and a few creative additions Pete helps me install, paint bombs rigged to pressure plates, alarms connected to my phone, a live stream that automatically broadcasts to the neighborhood group if anyone breaks in. Julia and Trent come on a Thursday night during a thunderstorm. They think the noise will cover them. They think I'm asleep. They're wrong on both counts. I watch from my phone as they jimmy open the back door. The alarm doesn't sound. I've disabled the noise, but kept the recording. They creep through my house, heading for my bachelor cave. "Destroy everything," Julia hisses. "His TV, his computer, all of it." They open the door to my room, and the paint bombs trigger. Neon orange and green paint explodes across them, coating their clothes, their hair, their faces. The alarm starts blaring, lights flash, and my voice plays over the speaker system. "Smile for the cameras, everyone." The live stream goes active. Every Ring doorbell in the neighborhood lights up with notifications. Julia and Trent, covered in paint, caught breaking into my home. I walk downstairs calmly. They're trying to wipe paint from their eyes, slipping on the floor. "You broke into my house," I say conversationally. "You tried to destroy my property, and you did it all on camera, broadcast to everyone we know." "Luke, please," Julia starts. Please what? Please don't call the cops. Please don't press charges. You humiliated me, Julia. You mocked me. You cheated on me. And when I responded by simply telling the truth, you tried to destroy what little I had left. Trent lunges at me. I sidestep, and Pete, who's been waiting by the door, tackles him. It's not elegant, but it's effective. Trent goes down hard. Stay down, Pete warns him. Sirens approach. Someone in the neighborhood called the police. Good. Julia's crying now, mascara mixing with paint running down her face. I loved you once. Maybe you did, but you loved yourself more. You loved excitement more. You loved the idea of something better more. And now you have exactly what you deserve. Nothing. The police arrive. They watch the footage, take statements, and arrest Julia and Trent for breaking and entering. The neighborhood watches from their porches, phones out, documenting everything. As the police cars drive away, Mrs. Blake starts clapping. Then Mr. Blake joins in. Soon the whole street is applauding while I stand on my porch, covered in paint splatter, exhausted and oddly at peace. Pete hands me a beer. You good? Yeah, I'm good. I'm going to need a bigger fridge in my room, though. I think I'm staying single for a while. He laughs, and we go inside, leaving the neighborhood to their gossip and their videos. The divorce finalizes 3 months later. Julia gets nothing. The prenup I insisted on 8 years ago holds up perfectly. Trent moves 2 states away after his business collapses completely. Julia ends up working retail in a different town, her real estate career destroyed by her reputation. I keep my house, my bachelor cave, and my peace of mind. I never wanted to be the villain in anyone's story. But when they wrote me into that role, I played it better than they ever expected. Sometimes at night, I sit in my room with a beer and think about how it all unfolded. How one decision, to not fight back when Julia told me to sleep on the couch, led to everything else. How being underestimated was my greatest advantage. Julia wanted excitement. She got it. Just not the kind she imagined. And me, I sleep better than I have in years. The end, don't forget to hit like, subscribe, and turn on the bell so you don't miss the next story. Write in the comments from which city you are watching,